Hello, everyone, and welcome to the second episode of the Box2Box podcast. I'm joined once again by Gaze
Hello.
and Rez.
Hello.
If you weren't able to tune in last week, go back and have a listen. We go in depth about the transfer window, sort of the league predictions for the season, and the weekend's fixtures just gone. We're just making our predictions. Today we're going to be talking about last weekend's fixtures. So we're just going to see what happened and some of the events and looking forward to the weekend ahead. So guys, what a great weekend of football it was.
It was indeed.
It was really entertaining.
Yeah.
Good start to the season.
It was a very good start to the season. Well, considering as all three of us are Man United fans, so it was a pretty good start to the season for us.
Goalless games, it was pretty intense.
Yeah, and for once there wasn't a single draw. I wonder how many times that's happened in the opening day of the season.
Yeah, very true.
So, guys, we'll start with the first game, even though we did record our podcast on Friday, the first one. The first game was Brentford versus Arsenal. My opinion on the game is it seemed like a typical Arsenal v Stoke. Sort of if you go back a couple of years where Arsenal just didn't look like they wanted to be there. And Brentford did everything nastily that Arsenal don't like and came away with a result. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, watching it, obviously, I know you boys were watching it live. I didn't get the chance to do so, but I watched it back and watching it. I actually thought Brentford were all right, to be honest. Arsenal's defence was an absolute shambles.
Ben White, 50 million.
Yeah, 50 million. I'm sure he'll come into his own. We'll see, Brighton fans. But I thought Leno was horrendous. Other than that, I thought Brentford just played a really good game. I mean, Odegaard had a few stints to play, but Arsenal, like you said, just didn't look like they wanted to play, didn't turn up at all.
Yeah.
Brentford, good on you.
Reza, what do you think of it, pal?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit unfair on Brentford to compare them to Stoke. To be fair, I think they were a bit better than that. In my opinion, I thought they had a game plan. They stuck to it. Arsenal were... I described them to my Arsenal fan colleague at work as like Louis van Gaal's Man United. It was a lot of possession, not a lot of idea. Odegaard, he did have a decent game. They've just signed him as well, haven't they? Well, they've had the bid accepted, haven't they?
Yeah.
So it looks like he's going to be staying, which is good for them. One thing I would say, in Arsenal's defence, they had quite a few players missing. Gabriel was missing, Aubameyang was missing, Lacazette was missing. So I think there were others as well. There was the Partey was missing. So
yeah,
you won't find me defending Arsenal loads, but they had players missing. And I think that also one thing you need to, it's the intangibles, right? Brentford just come up. Massive game for them.
They won
exactly. Massive game. I mean, you saw what it meant to them. Have you guys seen the scene at the end of the game with the young boy in the crowd?
Yeah, with the manager.
That's amazing.
No,
that's what football's all about, right? That's what you want to see. And so I think that you have to understand that, yes, Arsenal lost the game. 37 games left of the season. I don't think Arsenal fans need to panic just yet. There's a long way to go.
What worries me, Gabriel ain't that good of a defender, really. He's not going to be coming in like Virgil van Dijk or someone like that.
And I think I've said this before, right, about Ben White, that I'm not saying he's a bad player at all, because clearly he's not. However, he's 23.
Yeah, he is.
He needs someone to marshal him. Yeah, he needs someone next to him. And I think he had that, because when he was playing for Brighton, I believe they were playing three at the back, weren't they?
I always worry about any centre-back that you have to play three at the back for, because you clearly don't trust him in a two. That's why you play him in a three.
Protect him that much.
So you need to protect him that much. You have to play him in a three. It always worries me when you see that for any centre-back. It's sort of like a Connor Cody situation at Wolves. I worry if he ever has to play in a two. I don't think he'd be as good as he is when he plays in a three.
Yeah. No, I understand what you're talking about. And I think that is a big area of Arsenal, is obviously team that looked shambolic. And maybe it was just first game jitters. It's the first game of the season, right? Who knows? They've all come off of a little break. Yeah, they had a small pre-season, but there's always going to be those first game jitters in there. And like Rez said, right, you're missing Thomas Partey, you're missing Alba and Lacazette at the top. That's going to make a huge difference. I did want to do a big shout out though to the Brentford fans. Respect to what you did with Saka.
Oh, definitely.
Big cheer for him. The kid obviously had the situation in the Euros where he was majorly racially abused. They all got together, put a hand together for him. So big respect.
No, it's really. I thought most of the games over the weekend did portray quite a good picture towards stuff, and any fans that did start to sing stuff that weren't particularly good towards Saka, Rashford or Sancho tend to be closed down quite quickly.
Yeah, well, obviously we'll get onto the Burnley-Brighton game, but there was a bit of it in Burnley-Brighton's game, wasn't there?
Yeah, there was.
The Brighton fans bit back. So, but yeah, we'll get onto that later.
Yeah, just one last thing, Wes. When I said that I was comparing Brentford to Stoke, I didn't mean as in play style. I just meant like they sort of went there to rough them up. They didn't care that it was Arsenal, basically. They didn't give them any respect, sort of thing, which is sort of like an old Stoke team would do. They don't show.
Okay.
That's what I meant.
Right.
I didn't mean that they were just
tracking.
If you go back to watch Friday's episode, I was speaking to Brentford. I said they were a good little team. I didn't say they were going to go down. I think they'll stay up. But I just thought they did everything right. When you play against Arsenal, you need to just be nasty because they don't like it. No Arsenal team, apart from when you go back to the Invincibles, they haven't really liked anyone getting in their face and being proper aggressive towards them. And if you do it, you normally come away with the 3 points. And I think they did it to a T, really.
Yeah.
So if we get off that game, we'll go to the game that's inevitable. They're the 5-1 annihilation of Leeds. I'll open up the floor to Gase first because I know he's dying. He's been itching to talk about Pogba, I think, since the first assist happened, let alone him getting 4. So, Gase, if you kick us off, mate, and we'll go from there.
I mean, as ludicrous or as delusional you want to call me, on his days, one of the best midfielders, if not the best midfielder. Yeah, Kevin De Bruyne is in the Prem. But I think creatively and just all-round attributes, I think he's one of the best midfielders in the world.
With his attributes, you'd have to say so, yeah.
Turning up, I mean, all-round, not just Pogba, I thought our team played well. Yeah, there's areas that do need improving. I think McTominay, Fred weren't as bad.
Yeah.
There were points where they obviously left a lot of space. Massive space in behind, to be fair. But hopefully when Varane comes in, that'll be sorted and that can happen a bit more.
Yeah.
But yeah, that midfield still lacks. We said this last week. We still need a midfielder.
No, we do.
I mean, Sancho didn't look game fit, and I'm glad he didn't play in the whole game. But I'm sorry. Yeah. Again, Dan James was one of the only people on that pitch that I can turn around and be like, I thought he was, I don't want to say awful because that sounds nasty. He just wasn't good enough, right? He's not good enough.
No, you're not wrong, mate. You're not wrong.
Hence why Sancho is going to be a great addition. But all round, I just thought we were firing on all cylinders. I mean, Leeds played quite good for us, right? Leeds are very attacking, so they leave space in behind. Of course. Exactly. So that leaves your obviously chance for your Pogba's, who, I'm sorry, his vision is unbelievable, to pick out passes like it did to Bruno, to Greenwood, to make those unbelievable goals. But yeah, I thought, obviously, I know we're biased, but I just thought that was a class start to the season for us.
Yeah. Reza, what did you think of it, pal?
Yeah, I mean, Gase didn't say much wrong, to be honest. I agree. My issues with Pogba, you guys are aware, it's more of his attitude, it's his inconsistency. I think that he absolutely has all of the attributes to be possibly the best midfielder in the world, but his attitude is severely lacking at times, and he drifts. And it's just Pogba. Sometimes you get him in the mood. He was in the mood against Leeds. We'll see what he's like the rest of the season.
Yeah.
What I did like, one, I will give Ollie some credit, moving Pogba out to the left and further up the pitch means that basically he doesn't have any defensive responsibility at all. because we saw it in the Euros, right? Pogba, you saw the best and worst of Pogba in the Switzerland game.
Yeah.
He was fantastic going forward, and then he cost them the game because he sits on the ball for too long.
Yeah.
And whereas you push, and the thing is, I've said this continually. You need to play someone like Pogba higher up the pitch, because when he gives it away, which he will do, like Fernandes does, you've got enough players behind him for it to not make a difference, right? You play him as a 6, and then suddenly that team are 2-on-2, let's say, against Lindelof and Maguire, who have no pace.
Yeah.
So I've said it. Like, I think, obviously, you guys, it's been misconstrued that I'm against Pogba, I'm anti-Pogba. That's not it. The problem has been, I question his attitude, but there's a lot of players who I question their attitude and their output. And I just think that you look at someone like Ronaldo. Ronaldo's obviously the benchmark in terms of the epitome of a perfect attitude.
Yeah.
But that's how it should be. And I'm frustrated with Pogba because his agent talks too much. And he needs to address that. And obviously, this could be his last season at the club. And I don't know what happens. I do think that he may stay. I think that United are building something quite exciting here. Obviously, the game itself, you're right, it was a really good game.
Yeah.
The caveat to it is Leeds do play into United's hands. The style of football, it's like City, right? City, we'll get again to the City Spurs game, but it wasn't that big a surprise because the way Spurs play and the way City play, Spurs have done it to them year on year now.
Yeah.
And it's the same with Leeds. Leeds play a certain style of football. They only know that style of football. They attack, they leave space, and United exploited it, and exploited it well. Greenwood's goal was fantastic. Fernandes' second goal as well. That pass from Lindelof. Oh. And obviously for me the best assist was the Pogba to Greenwood. That was just unbelievable.
That pass was
such
ridiculous.
Just the vision to even see it, right? It was just amazing. So massive result, really good. Gets me excited for the season. I mean, we'll get on to obviously next week's fixtures or end of this weekend's fixtures, but we've got Southampton on Saturday. Or Sunday, sorry.
Sunday.
And that could be another feast.
Shall I tell you what I did really like about the game at the weekend that I don't think either of you have touched on just yet?
No, it's all right. We've spoken. We've done
it. Is that in the start of a second half, when we did sort of go to sleep a little bit, and then Ayling puts that ball in the top left-hand corner, which you can't really do much about. No. The players' reaction, I thought, was massive. They didn't just put their head down and just go, oh, no, here we go. They were like, right, let's turn up now. And they went, boom, and just started to smash them instantly from that moment onwards. Yeah. It's not good, the fact that you had to have the wake-up call of Ayling smashing it in the top corner, but it's still also a positive that they did wake up rather than just sit there and go, oh, it's done now then.
That was United a lot of last season.
That's what I was going to say, story of our life, right? Go behind, all of a sudden start turning up.
Yeah.
Seeds start turning up. So.
We need to stop doing it before we concede, but I mean, if you can smash 5 still.
No, I agree.
I thought it was still quite good.
Yeah. No, I agree. One thing I did want to touch on, obviously, when you said the goal, I mean, the strike, don't get me wrong, Ayling's strike was unbelievable, right? But there was a few things that we could have done to stop it, but we won't go deep into it.
Oh, yeah. Our defensive midfielders were nowhere to be seen. Literally, you watch the goal back, and McTominay, you see him in the shot, and he's just jogging. And it frustrates me. Neither of them are good enough. End of. Dan James also not good enough. It's as simple as that.
It feels like we could just let you speak forever, Ez, about them three.
One person we haven't mentioned who I thought it was nice, to see him smiling. Coming on was Baldy, obviously.
Anthony Martial.
I actually thought he came on and looked quite on it, to be honest. I know he goes through those stints where his attitude is a bit all over the place.
He's the same as Pogba, really, because he has got the talent to be a really good player, but it's just whether he's in the mood or not.
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, he's grumpy though. Pogba's stroppy. Martial's grumpy. It's just the way they are. I don't know what it is about.
Isn't it?
Yeah. But again, you're right. I was quite impressed with Sancho actually when he came on because he was trying things, and you could see. Do you know what it reminded me of? And I don't want to get ahead of myself. And
don't say the R word. Don't say the R word. Please don't say the R word,
mate. It was literally like Ronaldo against Bolton.
No, but he said it.
Listen. He was trying things, and you're like, he's got quick feet.
Yeah.
He's got an idea. He's got a turn of pace. You know,
yeah. That's what's always going to get the Old Trafford crowd to love you.
Yeah.
Though, if you try stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
What we want to see.
Yeah, exactly. Fernandes gives the ball away all the time, but he delivers, and boy, did he deliver again.
Yeah.
Him and Pogba, mate. In harmony, they could be unbelievable, unplayable.
If you had Ndidi behind him. No, let's stop going on about this.
Yeah, next game.
Like this. But we'll go next to Burnley Brighton. I'll go to you, Reza, first on this one. What did you think of the game?
I mean, kudos to Brighton. They came back from a goal down. I think they did that once the whole of last season. Yeah. They won a game from behind. It's massive for them. Burnley could have and probably should have put the game to bed in the first half, but Brighton came back at them. It's Burnley are one of those. I do worry about Burnley. I say worry. I'm not worried about them. It's if they go down, they go down.
Sleepless nights.
Yeah. But Burnley are going to be one of those clubs that are going to be battling this season. I think it's going to be a real long, hard season for them. I mean, there's not much else you can say. I didn't think it was a fantastic game of football.
I was quite shocked with the first Burnley goal of Brighton's defending because from set pieces, they don't really normally concede that many. And I just think it was a bit all over the place. It might have just been because it was start of the season.
No Ben White.
Reza, Gase, what did you think of it, mate?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was like the perfect game of two halves, right? Burnley all over in first half. Looked like they should have been 3-4-0 up at one point. Didn't put their chances away. Brighton in the 70th minute, hats off to their manager, makes two great changes. And all of a sudden he turns the game around, right? He made the right call, made the changes. Brighton turn up, take the dub. So, yeah, I thought it was good. And also, one thing I didn't mention with regards to United and also in the Burnley game was like the difference in officiating from this season to last. Obviously, with VAR, the lines being bigger last season, Bruno's goal would have been offside.
Yeah, it would have.
Change.
Yeah, that was.
I'm just saying that because obviously United, but great change. And also, like, for example, I think it could have been a penalty on Tarkowski against Morpay, right, when he pushed him. Whereas, obviously, this season it's a bit more lenient towards, like, the foul system. So I think it's good changes. But, yeah, it was a nice game.
Yeah, it was okay. It wasn't the best game to watch, essentially. It seemed like both teams were a bit like it's the first game of the season. Burnley just couldn't see it. I think if that game plays out in February, March, I think Burnley are 3-0 up at halftime. And I think it probably could have been game over. Yeah. Just because it's first game of the season, I think they're just a little bit rusty. But I mean, I've got to take my hat off to Brighton to go to Burnley, go 1-0 down and win 2-1. Not a lot of the big boys can do it, let alone someone that's going to be fighting the relegation. So to be fair to him, I'll give it to him. Take my hat off to him. Considering that game's gone, now move to the Chelsea game. I worry for Palace. I know it's first game of the season, and it's obviously Chelsea, one of the title contenders, but that some of their defending at times was very woeful. And I feel like unless Zaha is going to score 60 goals this year, I think they could be dead certs to go down, really. Either of you two feel like that's going to be any different from what I've said?
Not really. I mean, I put Palace in my predictions. I put Palace in the bottom three. I put Palace going down.
Yeah.
I mean, though Palace aren't a good side, I think we're taking it away from Chelsea. Chelsea looked good, right? Chelsea dominated.
No, they did look good. Yeah.
And this is without Big Rom. Right, that's without N'Golo Kante.
Rom would have got 8.
You know what I mean? So this is the thing. They've got these signings, and like I said, they didn't. Their defense didn't get tested. I think Palace had 1 shot on goal. Mendy made 1 catch from a header, and that was it in the whole game.
Yeah.
But it's just Chelsea dominated. Palace didn't have any answers, and Chelsea were without Big Rom, Kante, and also if they get another defender, they're scary.
Well, yeah. Let's just hope they don't get Koundé. Reza, what did you think of the game, pal?
Yeah, it was everything you've said. Chelsea were very, very good. Palace are going to really struggle. Palace are going to rely on teams being worse than them. We talked about it last week.
Yeah,
Brighton.
They are going to be, they are going to be relying absolutely on teams being worse than they are. And like we said, it's a dangerous game to play. But yeah, you cannot take anything away from Chelsea because they are looking. It's one game, right? But they are looking impressive. Yeah, and I think that Tuchel tactically, I think he's a very strong manager.
Yeah,
I think they've got an excellent squad of players. Their first 11's looking very strong now, which it wasn't so strong last year. As a squad, they're looking good. And you do look. We all predicted the same top 4. I think this weekend, City aside, but we'll touch on that game in a short while. It highlights, I think, the top 4 are going to basically run away with it a little bit this year.
I think so, yeah.
It makes for an interesting season as well, right?
You're going to have a mini league, right? And I think that this is where the head-to-heads Sky Sports will label it as the Big Six and include Spurs and Arsenal in it, but
Go on, Gary, mate. Sorry.
The head-to-heads at that end of the table are going to be critical, and it's going to be really, really interesting because I think you're going to see a lot of movement. I think there's going to no one's winning it in March or early April.
Oh, not at all.
Is what I would say.
Not at all.
I think we're looking at late April, early May.
Maybe even last game of the season, maybe.
It could do, which would be mega. We're not very good at that, though, so we don't agree with that.
We're going to win it by February, I think.
So,
I've got to say, though... Go on.
Who have we got last game of the season?
That's a good question.
Genuinely don't know.
Trying to scroll through now, quick.
Yeah, while you two are looking that up, I think a big mention to the goals that Chelsea scored as well.
That's what I was going to say. We got Palace away.
That's all right. We're winning the league. We got Chelsea the week before, though. Chelsea the week before.
I thought the free kick was actually really good.
Free kick was good. I mean, the wall. I don't know if the wall didn't move though. Sometimes you just got to still put it in the back of the net though. You just sort of got to give it to him. It was decent. I agree. It was really good free kick. The goalkeeper was stumped. And you had that Chalobah.
Yeah, I felt good for him.
30 yards.
Bless him. I felt good for him. Yeah. Getting his first ever goal. Quite a decent strike as well, to be fair to him, for a centre back.
No, it was a good goal. Don't go too far though about it. Anyway.
Right, so we'll move on to the Everton Southampton game. Reza, what do you think of this one, mate?
Is as it is. Southampton again poor. They are going to struggle, really struggle. Everton just did what they had to do. To be honest, I wouldn't shout home about beating Southampton. To be honest,
in one stage though, they looked like they weren't going to beat him when they went 1-0 up and started defending. I thought it looked like it wasn't going to be a good day at the office for Everton fans.
No, I mean, look, I think again, we spoke at Everton. I think they're going to be mid-table. I think that they've got an okay team. Nothing stellar. They'll be okay. They'll be fine. I think Benitez, I can't stand him, but he's a decent manager. They'll be okay. But yeah, so I wouldn't. It wasn't a fantastic game of football. It was okay.
I think the game changed massively when they brought Richarlison on.
Mm-hmm.
But then he's massively inconsistent.
No, yeah, he is. but he was their shining light, as it were. As soon as he came on, sort of everything started to go through him. I think that Rafa will probably be using that to just play through Richarlison every game, and it's going to be quite a hard thing if you're relying on someone that's not consistent to play through him all the time. You're going to get 1 week where he's going to be smoking hot, and the next week he's going to be freezing cold.
Yeah.
Gase, what did you think of it, mate?
Yeah, I mean, watching it, to be honest, that Armstrong's finish was unbelievable, right?
Yeah, no, take nothing away.
Absolutely.
Jesus.
Great finish, good signing. I'm pretty sure it's a new signing for them. He did well for him. Everton, they're a weird one. They play really, really wide. I was watching it, and there was a stat after the game where they put 17 crosses in the box. It just seems their goal this season is get it out wide, ping it in the box, pray that Calvert-Lewin's there.
Yeah.
So that seems to be their tactic. I mean, it worked, obviously. They scored 2 crosses, but just get the ball out wide, bang it across, and hope that Calvert-Lewin, Richarlison, someone's getting on the end of it.
Yeah.
It was what it was.
Their third goal, I believe, to Calvert-Lewin, that cross was actually unbelievable. I thought
unbelievable, yeah.
That cross was well good, and then the finish was good as well. To be fair, diving header, but I thought, that goal was worth a mention. I thought, so that covers that one off, and then now to Leicester Wolves. I'll go to you, Gase, on this one first one. What did you think of it, bud?
Yeah, it was interesting, to be honest, because I think this was a good game to gauge where Wolves were at, right? Obviously, new manager, they got their striker back, so obviously would that counterbalance it? I thought it was all right. I mean, Wolves had a few chances. I don't know if you saw Adama Traore's 1-on-1.
I was gonna mention that his finishing is embarrassing.
Considering like he's got the stature, everything. He's got the attributes to be great, but I don't know if he's hard to train or what. He just doesn't seem to.
He's just not technically very good, right? His end product is awful, and I think I said it last week, right? People were talking about him and saying, I think Liverpool were linked 30 million. Sam Maximan was linked to no one.
Yeah,
no one.
Yeah,
right. And this guy, nah. He's strong and he's quick.
Yeah.
That's literally all he is. That is literally his entire game. Strong, fast, and he looks the part, right? Yeah. And that's why a lot of people buy into it. So Maximan's slight, but out of the two of them, I don't get the Adama Traore loving. No. I don't get it. I don't understand. Do you know what it is? It's probably FIFA. That's probably what it is.
It wouldn't surprise me.
It's Ultimate Team.
Me. Yeah. I mean, you put it into perspective, looking at the stats wise, Leicester ended up having, Wolves had 17 shots, but only 3 on target. Mm-hmm. That's quite embarrassing, really. 3 shots on target, and majority of them must have been Adama, because there's a minimum of 3 times where he put it wide when you think, here we go, he's scoring. Oh no, it's wide again. Or no, straight to goalkeeper.
Yeah. And
I just think it was a story of, I think if Adama could finish, I think that game would have gone a lot differently. But then again, if my auntie had bollocks, she'd have been my uncle. So can't go ifs and buts all the time, can you?
She used to, didn't she?
Probably, to be fair.
Yeah, it was. I think it was a game that could have gone either way, really. I mean, it's. I suppose for Wolves fans, the fact that those chances dropped to Adama instead of Raul Jimenez, you'll be hitting yourself on the head. But
headbutting a brick wall constantly. Must feel like it. But we go past that game then. Sorry, Reza, and yourself, mate.
You said it all. It's all good. Vardy's finish was quite nice. It was tidy.
I'll tell you what, Reza, we'll go to you first for the Watford Villa game.
Okay.
Which I thought this one was a great game to watch.
It was a really good game. I was surprised at how, I don't know if this is being harsh, Watford, how poor Villa were. I think, obviously, look, they've lost Jack Grealish, massive loss, but it's one player, and the rest of the team, they were defensively poor, looked a bit out of shape quite often. I don't know whether they were just caught out of shape by Watford or they were just out of shape.
Would you put it down to first game of the season, maybe?
Possibly. They've also got 4 new players trying to bed them in. So obviously, sorry, excuse me. So obviously trying to get over the loss of Jack Grealish, their talisman, their star man. Yeah, but I was surprised still because I don't think Watford are all that. That being said, there were 2 really, really good goals in this game. Hernandez for Watford and McGinn for Villa.
No,
those
you're
2
right,
goals,
both of them.
excellent goals. And
no,
those 2 are up there this week. One of them, spoiler, one of them is my goal of the week. But yeah, it was a good game, really good, entertaining game of football. But I was surprised at how entertaining it was because I thought Villa would just easily win that game.
Yeah, I did as well. Honestly, I thought, I was just as shocked as yourself, really. Seeing that, as soon as I see Watford go 1-0 up and then 2-0 up, I was sitting there, and go, surely, what's happening? But I think you've got to give credit to Watford. I've given it's their first game of the season back in the league as well, to be fair to them, and to get a win against one of the teams that a lot of people would pick to be in the top 6 to 9 teams. It was good for them. Case, what are you saying, mate?
Yeah, I agree. I've got, similar to Rez, I've actually got a short list of goals of the week, and both of those are on there. I thought, McGinn's half volley was great, and then obviously Hernandez's cut inside from the edge of the box was a banger.
Yeah.
I did think, to be fair, again, I said last week, I think Villa would struggle quite a lot more, though they've made good signings. I think they'd struggle because Grealish was such a player right for him. He was a talisman, everything went through him.
Yeah.
He was who they aimed for when they go forward, right? He did it. He marched them forward. That being said, Villa were really shaky at the back, and I think that Sarr is a handful for anyone.
No, he proved that the year before.
Yeah.
I thought when he was in the Premier League that year.
Yeah, I think it's just... I also think Villa kept getting caught out of position because they were so scared of his pace, and he just kept bombing it down the wing.
Yeah.
And he just found himself in so much space, and they just looked all over the place, Villa going backwards. They got themselves a bit together after McGinn scored, but yeah, I just think Watford turned up for the first game of the season. Good on them.
Yeah, it was, to be fair. Just one quick one before we move on. Penalty, definitely a penalty.
Hard one.
It was Reza. What are you thinking? Definite a pen?
Don't know.
He shouldn't have done the action, right? He shouldn't have put his leg back.
No, I mean, it is because I want to praise VAR this week, actually, because obviously we spoke about United, but the Fernandez goal and the new offside lines, obviously last season that would have been offside. Yeah. There was also the challenge. It wasn't even a challenge, but Maguire on, which Leeds player was it? I can't remember which Leeds player it was, but where Maguire's run across the back of him, and the legs, obviously there is contact. Yeah. And again, last season, that's probably a pen. So I think they got a lot right this weekend. So I don't know. It's a difficult one. I don't know.
I've watched it from a couple of angles, and from one angle, it doesn't look like he touches him, and from another angle, it looks like he does clip him a little bit. But I mean, from a defensive side of thing, you'd think, why the hell is he swinging his leg out and someone's going into the box? So
yeah, if you don't do that motion, you don't get caught out, right?
No, of course not.
At the same time that he flung his leg backwards, and it does look like he's trying to trip the guy, contact or not. Obviously, it is what it looks like. So that's why the pen was given.
Yeah. Okay. So if we've done that game, we'll move on to the Norwich versus Liverpool game. I think we all predicted Liverpool to win this game. I said I didn't even think Watford would give any. Norwich would give anything back whatsoever. I don't think they really did. But I'll go with you guys. Case, what did you think?
Yeah, I mean, it panned out how I expected it to pan out. Norwich had a few opportunities. I thought Cantwell was okay.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a massive, massive hype around Pookie, right, the first time they came up.
Yeah, I don't think there's any more.
And this season, again, I mean, it is Liverpool at the end of the day. but I haven't seen anything for him. One thing I will say is that left back for Liverpool, that Tsiknas, I thought he was actually
the Greek one.
good. The Greek one, yeah. Going forward, he looked quite good. But yeah,
they're going to need him quite a lot for Robertson being out.
Yeah. Other than that, I mean, Jota almost run 70 yards and scored a goal, but he got taken down. So yeah, Norwich were just poor. Liverpool were good.
Yeah,
that's pretty much it, really.
Reza, anything else to add, pal? What did you think of it?
Not particularly. Pookie had a chance early on, didn't he? Went near post and
was that a 0-0?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was.
And yeah, it was because then the first goal was the Jota goal, wasn't it? Jota scored first.
Yeah.
And I don't care what anyone says. There's no way that's a bloody pass. Salah meant to control that and take it on.
Yeah, he did. 100%.
Yeah, there's no people are it's a pass from Salah. No. Stop chatting shit. That guy does not pass.
The Gaku touch
at all. Oh, it was massively. It was just because there was a gap, right? And you could see exactly what he was doing. He's trying to take a touch and run into the gap between the two Norwich defenders. And instead, it's just kind of slid across his foot. And he basically opened his foot too wide, right? And that's all that happened. And it was people like, pass him something. No, stop it. Shut up.
As you can clearly see, Rez really loves Liverpool. I'm just looking at the stats just before we do move on. Surprisingly, Norwich had 14 shots. It didn't feel like it watching the game.
No, I mean, I know they had that one chance.
I think it's obviously the thing is though, there's shots and then there's chances, right? Because I think have a look at the stats for the Arsenal game. They had 22 shots on goal, 4 on target, right? So just looking at the shots doesn't tell much of a story. It's actually chances created. I mean, listen, technically you could have a shot from anywhere and it's like, oh, that's a shot.
I was saying on FIFA, when you're trying to moan that you haven't scored enough goals, start shooting from the halfway. See, I've had 36 shots. I only scored 1.
Boost the stats.
So yeah, again, I think Norwich didn't have many chances, is what I would say.
Yeah.
So yeah, because like you say, it didn't seem like they had that many shots. Clearly, they did, but they didn't have that many chances, certainly. So yeah,
even though we don't like the Scum, they did play quite well. I mean, you got to give it to them when they played well.
Yeah. Listen, they were never going to be as bad as last season, right?
No.
So they're going to be top 4, and it's going to be a really interesting, tight top 4.
Yeah, it is.
And yeah, it's. So I'm looking forward to it.
All right, Sam. So now we've covered that one. We'll move to the first game on the Sunday, which, in all honesty, this game I thought was an absolute cracker. I've actually watched it back again since. I thought it was actually quite a good game to watch, which is obviously Newcastle versus West Ham. I'll actually go to you, Gace. What did you think of it, pal?
Like you said, great. It was a really good game, to be fair. And again, Alan Saint-Maximin, I agree fully. He's leaps above Adama Traore.
Yeah, I don't know.
It looks like he's done too much, but he twists and turns. He's skillful. He is a good player, right? Obviously, there's aspects of his game that people are saying he needs to improve on, but if he goes to the right club, I think he could be top quality.
How old is he? Saint-Maximin. Just as a quick one. Is he still a youngster?
I don't think youngster, but...
How old are we talking? 24, mate. To be fair to him,
so
if he's still only 24, he could still improve on what he needs to improve on, because a winger, it's not going to be a finished article at 24. You're sort of looking at like 26, 27, 28. So he's still got a couple of years to work on it.
No, and I thought, to be fair, St. Max was going to be like a Dimitri Payet type situation where he comes in outstanding for the first season, then gets shipped off to France, and then also, not dwindles away. Payet's still a quality player, but obviously he's not as prominent as he was in the Prem.
Yeah.
St. Max is really good. I rate him quite highly. I think he's really good.
Yeah.
West Ham's right back, I think, is very good. That Kufau.
Yeah. He was quite good in the Euros as well, though, to be fair.
Yeah. He was non-stop up and down. Declan Rice as well is another one who in the Euros I thought looked a bit offish at times, but for West Ham he looks proper on it.
I think in the Euros he was instructed to play a lot deeper, and he wasn't allowed to get forward like he would ordinarily for West Ham. I think he's much better on the ball than Euro 2020 showed. You saw it a bit in the final, right? Second half against Italy, he started carrying the ball more. Calvin Phillips obviously stepped back a little bit. I think he was getting tired. I just think that the way Southgate, he has a picture of Declan Rice, and that is just basically just a defensive midfielder who basically isn't very good on the ball. And that's completely incorrect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then along with that, I think on the Newcastle side, they were okay. There is obviously issues within that team, but I thought if you can get Callum Wilson and St. Maximin working together, that could be quite a good part for them, as well as Almiron being behind them. I mean,
both teams defensively were pretty poor.
No, you're not wrong there. They both were.
Obviously, and I was surprised that West Ham was poor as they were defensively. And St. Maximin turning Rice inside out was funny. But I was surprised by how poor West Ham were in particular. And I just think Newcastle, I think they scored 2 goals and they just thought, okay, we can score more. And it just opened up for West Ham and they just took advantage.
Yeah.
West Ham are a good team and they'll do okay this season.
No, I think they will.
Newcastle, I mean, I had Newcastle to go down. Who knows? Look, man for man, they're too good to go down, right? But maybe it's just more wishful thinking on my part. It'd just be hilarious to see Newcastle go down. But I don't hate Newcastle. It's just
everyone is not United.
No, it's just, do you know what it is? It's Mike Ashley, right? I can't stand Mike Ashley, and I feel for their fans. I really do. They're a big club, Newcastle. They are a big club. No matter
passionate fans as well. Very
passionate they
fans.
are massively so. And he's destroyed that club. He's destroying that club still. And I think, so me saying it'd be funny for them to go down, it'd just be funny because of him. It's the same thing with West Brom last year, right? I've got nothing really against West Brom, but it'd just be funny to see them go down because Sam Allardyce was manager. It's just one of those.
So, pretty much everything you guys said is the way I feel about the game. I don't know whether you can put the defensive mishaps down to first game of the season. I think that Newcastle, to stop them conceding so many goals, they have to play 5 at the back. But even with playing 5 at the back, they still conceded 4. But I think that's probably the way they go forward. Maybe a bit more formality with the system. They might be able to get themselves playing a bit better. I'm not too worried about Newcastle side of thing. I still don't think they're going to go down. But West Ham look quite good.
Yeah, they're both quite top-heavy teams, aren't they? So.
Yeah, to be fair, when West Ham actually woke up, I think they were a bit pre-season mist was over their eyes for a little bit. And I think as soon as Newcastle got their second and they went 2-1 down, they were like, oh, crap, we're going to have to start turning this on a bit. And the half-time break did them some good. And I think they came out and did what they needed to do in the second half to care of business.
Yeah.
So then we move to our last game of the weekend, which is Heung-min Son versus Manchester City. And the right back, I forgot the right back's name. Tottenham's right back and Heung-min Son versus Tanganga and Son versus Man City. Rez, what did you think of this one, mate?
I predicted City would win. I was woefully incorrect. I don't think I appreciated the recent history between these two teams. Spurs have done what Spurs did at the weekend to City for the last 3 or 4 seasons now.
Last 5 games they've played.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
They sit, they absorb, they run, they score. It helps that Son is technically very good. I think City had chances though, right? And
yeah, they did.
You can't help but feel that Harry Kane in the City team, City win this game. B, that because of this game, City go all out and get Harry Kane.
I don't know whether they will, though.
You don't think so?
Nah, because they've had bad times in the past. I don't think they're just going to go and buy for one player. I don't think that will make them want to buy Kane.
Last season, again, you know, we talk about relegation, right? We say teams rely on other teams being worse. City basically relied on no other team being better than them last year. If that makes sense, it doesn't really make sense, actually. Fuck's sake, Rez. Basically, what I'm trying to say is, right, no team challenged them last year. There was no challenger to them.
They were lucky
at all.
Is that what you're saying?
Not lucky, but United basically up until January, obviously, United went top in Jan. And I don't know whether it was the Sheffield United game was a big turning point for United. It was a bad game, some bad decisions. There was the Sheffield United goal that was given, and then Martial's goal was ruled out for basically the same thing. And after that point, United just fell away, and that was it. There was no one out. No one stepped up after that point. City just had a run.
They had no pressure.
Yeah. Whereas this year, they will have. And the pressure will tell. And in games like the game on Sunday, Harry Kane makes not just a difference, he makes all the difference in that match.
Yeah.
And I think that if you are City's board, looking at that, you've got all the money in the world. Money's not a problem. Money's not an issue. Clearly, FFP, look at PSG, it fucking means nothing. So you're just like, go and get Harry Kane. If it costs 150 million, you go and get Harry Kane. And I think they will. I do think they will. I think it could be another Berbatov situation where it could go down to the 30th of August or whatever it is. The 31st, isn't it? I think the transfer window closes, whenever it is.
One of those two, yeah.
But yeah, overall, City had chances. They need more than just Harry Kane, though, to be fair. I think Fernandinho, Rodri's not a substitute for Fernandinho. Fernandinho's not looking great at all, but he is in his 30s now. Is he mid-30s?
Somewhere. I think he's somewhere around there.
Grealish looked quite good for what it's worth. And obviously De Bruyne was off, wasn't he? De Bruyne came on toward the 20 minutes ago or something?
10, 15, I think it was.
Yeah. They've got an impressive squad. I won't read too much into this game because, like I say, Tottenham did it to them last year. They did it to them the year before. They did it to them the year before that. So it's not a shock result. United do it to them, right? We do what Spurs did. We hit them on the break, and they're easy to hit on the break. So I wouldn't read too much into it.
Yeah, there's the only reason I think that they won't go for Kane is because trying to get all the players they've got in to the system they've got at the moment. So trying to get all their players as well as Grealish in. I think that he's going to play Kevin De Bruyne as like a false nine, like he did towards most of the games last year, and then play it that way. That's what I think Guardiola's going to do. And then obviously Gabriel Jesus then still backup striker.
I think that last season aside, looking back, and I'll have to look up the stats. I don't know if this is just a feeling that I have. I'd have to look up and see whether the stats back it up. But last year aside, in the history of Premier League football, how many times have a team won the league with a striker that scored less than 20 goals?
Probably not many.
And I think, like I say, I don't want to say they got lucky. It wasn't luck. They were the best team last year. They were. But, like I say, this year, Chelsea, Lukaku's going to get 20 goals plus. Salah's probably going to get 20 goals plus for Liverpool. United...
Varney, Rashford and Sancho are going to get 20 goals a week. I mean, what? So go and carry on, mate.
Yeah, well, no, I think with United, I think the goals will be more spread than the other teams.
Yeah.
But, and again, with Spurs, obviously, I mean, Harry Kane just gets goals for fun. So, I do think that without that striker, you're always asking for trouble. Without that finisher, that guy who guarantees you 20, 25 plus goals a year, a season, you're asking for trouble. And City know that. Pep's not stupid, right? You look at Pep's history of strikers, he's always had a good striker. a top quality striker, and he doesn't. I don't look. De Bruyne is a fantastic footballer. This false nine, nah. Again, it's not. It's against some teams, yeah, fine, but ultimately you saw it against Spurs. Not taking their chances cost them.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
But we'll see. Time will tell.
Yeah,
We've got
we'll
what?
see.
13 days.
Yeah, no, of course. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens in the rest of the transfer window. So that pretty much covers all the games this week.
Didn't really say, but it's all good.
Oh, go on, mate. Go on, have your little input. Have your input for the Tottenham City game.
Reds went on a bit of a fucking waffle there.
Who did?
So
Me? Yeah, but it's good insight, right? And I got mugged off the Leicester game, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, I thought Tottenham were all right. Tanganga was really good, and I think Lucas deserves a shout. I thought Lucas is actually quite good. But again, going back to what you said, they've got a winger in Ferran Torres who was playing up top, and he actually did look quite sharp, but he's not a striker. So I think, yeah, once if City get an out-and-out striker, I think they could be, again, like we said, 20-goal a season striker, they'll be definitely in the running.
Yeah,
they're going to be in the running no matter what, but a striker
yeah.
right up there.
I think that the favourite, if they want to get given the favourite, they have to get the striker. As they're the favourites to win the Premier League. If you want to have that title, you're going to have someone that's going to get you 20 goals.
Well, they need someone to step up, right? Like United, like we said, I would imagine, spread out. We've got Bruno who scored a hat-trick. One thing we didn't really mention was Bruno got a hat-trick last weekend. But we will spread these goals out, whereas City don't seem to have someone who's, maybe Sterling might step up, Grealish maybe, but they just don't have that out-and-out person when De Bruyne is not on the pitch.
Yeah. Okay, Sam. So then, now that covers this the weekend just gone. We'll look at the weekend ahead of us. It starts off and kicks off in Liverpool versus Burnley. What you guys got? I think it's going to be a unanimous 3-3 to Liverpool. But what you guys saying, Rez?
Burnley,
really?
No, mate.
Really hates Liverpool that much. Every single person they play.
Liverpool,
yeah, I've seen.
Liverpool quite easily, I think, as well, unfortunately.
Sound, Case?
I've put Liverpool 2-0, but I think Burnley will put their back up for a bit. As soon as they break through, I think they'll have their way with them.
Yeah, no, I see what you mean. Villa Newcastle.
Draw.
Going for the draw.
Interesting. I've gone Villa dub. I've put 2-1 because again, I think Newcastle showed a little something.
I think some either St. Max or Callum Wilson's going to bag a goal for him.
Yeah.
At some point in the game.
Yeah, looking at it, to be fair, if Villa's defence did the same as they did last week, I think they could be in trouble. To be fair,
St. Max is going to tear him to shreds.
That's what I mean. Newcastle are front heavy with Wilson and St. Max and Almiron. So it could be an interesting game, but I've still gone Villa 2-1.
We're talking about defenders, right? And it just reminded me, I thought, Tyrone Mings, right? Mm-hmm. Can we just get a shout out to Nathan Ake? What the fuck? 40 million.
We were interested in it at one point as well.
Mate, that's jokes.
Bullet dodger, mate.
Absolute jokes.
Anyways. Ollie Boris. Boris the bullet dodger.
Right.
So we'll move on to Palace v Brentford. I've gone for a 1-1 draw. Is what I think is going to happen. What you guys got?
I've gone for Brentford. Only after they're showing it.
You're the biggest Brentford fan going now.
They are, and still are bottom of the table for me. But I've got them winning 2 games on the bounce.
You don't think Palace being at home, fans behind them, they're going to score at least?
I think Palace, and that is one thing we talked about last week, right? Was the fact that fans are huge, and how good was it to see full capacity crowds back? Right? It was
so good.
Atmosphere all round was unbelievable. United's atmosphere unbelievable. And Palace's fans, they're loud, right? They're good. They get behind their team, but I just think I didn't see anything from Palace, right? They had one shot on target, which was a floating header. And though it was Chelsea, I just don't think they're good enough. So I think they're going to be in trouble against most teams.
Fair enough. Rez, what do you go for, mate?
Yeah, I fancy Brentford to ride the wave and get another result here. I just think that Palace are real poor.
Really, Rez had Palace to win 3-0, but he's just gone, hang on, quick.
Yeah, that's it. I'll show you my notes after this.
So now we go to Leeds Everton. I've actually gone for another draw. I've gone for 2-2, I think.
I have done exactly the same. I just think Everton obviously take advantage of teams that press. Leeds are going to press Leeds. I don't want to say Leeds guarantee goals because their goal against us was a wonder goal, but they do. Their play style is almost to outscore the opponents. Right?
Yeah.
They don't really defend. So I think it's going to be, I'll put 2-2 draw.
I think it was quite a hard one for me because Everton last year, I think I saw a stat that Everton actually won the most amount of away games last year. I know obviously we didn't lose an away game, but I think they won the most, which I thought was absolutely crazy for Everton. And I think if they can continue that, I think they're going to score a couple of goals, but I just don't think I can see Leeds losing the opening home game of the season. Rez, how are you seeing it, mate?
I'm going to go Leeds. I think they'll just have a little bit too much. Yeah. I just think that they'll be up for it. Their fans will be up for it, especially after getting smashed by United. So I think, I'm going to go Leeds to edge it.
So we now go to City Norwich.
We do.
Rez, what you got for City Norwich? Norwich?
City, easy.
Yeah, I've gone 3-0 City, guys.
I have 3-0, but I think it could be more. I think City, after that, are going to come out and try and make a statement. They're going to smash.
Yeah, I do feel a bit sorry for Norwich. The opening 2 games, they've got Liverpool and then Man City. That's 2 of the hardest
games. You feel sorry for Norwich?
Yeah, I mean...
feel sorry for Arsenal.
I feel sorry for them, mate. They deserve everything that's coming to them. I mean, last week when we were talking about first managers to get sacked, I want to change my answer to Arteta.
Do you? I don't think you will, mate.
They've got Chelsea tomorrow. Sorry,
then they've
Chelsea
got
Sunday. Then they've got City. So potentially they could be 3 games in and have 0 points.
Yeah, I mean, listen, their first 6, is it? I think they got Norwich after that. They have got Norwich.
And then they have Spurs as well playing at one point.
Then they got Burnley. Then they've got Spurs. So after 6 games, I reckon they're going to be on 5 points.
I reckon 4. I reckon Burnley are going to get a draw with them, and I reckon they'll beat. Who was the other team they had?
They've got Burnley, Norwich.
No, I think they'll beat. I think they'll beat Norwich, and then I think they'll draw with Burnley and then lose to Tottenham.
Yeah.
But anyway, we'll talk about that in future weeks. So that's everyone for the City Norwich. We've then got Brighton Watford. Draw.
I'll put draw 2, 1-1.
1-1. I went for 2-1 Watford. People are literally going to think I've got an agenda against Brighton.
Yeah, your dad would be upset.
He's going to be livid, absolutely livid. He probably thinks they're getting Europe. They're beating them 6-0. Welbeck's going to get a hat-trick.
He will also tell you that Ben White's going to be worth 100 million in a couple of years.
And Varane's not as good quality as... Yeah, we won't get into this one.
I
just think...
I got told off for that,
Yeah,
we got home and Law was like, leave Tanner's dad alone.
A Britney Spears situation. Dad sitting in the corner with a razor hanging out, just shaving his head bald, just constantly going, Ben White's 100 million, I swear. But I just think Watford against Villa, they were very, very impressive. And I think if that same Watford turns up against Brighton, I think they're doing him.
That's fair.
So yeah, if that does the Saturday, we now move on to the Sunday.
Yeah.
Southampton United, guys. Go on, Rez. What you got? United?
Go on, Rez.
Feast.
United feast.
Yeah.
Sound?
How bad we're talking?
4.
11, 12?
Nah, 4. It's not going to be like
only 4. Only 4.
4.
Oh, okay, only 4.
Only 4.
Gase?
I've put 3-0. See if we can keep our away from home record going like we did last season. But I do think we could, if we get a goal early, I think we're going to absolutely decent.
9-0.
I'll put 3, but I think
I'm joking.
it'll be 6.
I went 2. I went 2-0 Man United.
Jadon Sancho's going to get 4, Bruno 2. Go.
So then we go to the interesting one on the Sunday. Wolves versus Tottenham. Being that Nuno's going back to Wolves.
Yes.
Obviously, Wolves lost their opening game to Leicester, and now they've got another tough one in. I don't know. Yeah, tough one in Spurs. Rez, what you thinking for this?
I'm going to go draw.
Draw. Fair enough.
Yeah, I think Wolves are pretty strong defensively. I think
score draw or non-score draw.
Depends if Kane plays, which it doesn't sound like he's going to. He's not in their Europa Conference qualifying game.
You're playing, mate.
Game, is he?
Don't even think he knows the team for it.
So I think it's going to be a draw. If it is a goal score draw, it'll be 1-1 maybe. I think Wolves are strong defensively. They showed that against Leicester. They're pretty resolute, and I think at some point you've got to fancy Jimenez. Although he's been out for a long time, right? So at some point he will start scoring goals. And if Adama Traore can find some sort of end product, then Wolves could be quite dangerous. And I'd look a fool for having them as my dark horse for relegation. But
it depends what Adama Traore turns up. If Adama Traore scores a couple that he normally gets about 2 or 3 chances a game, if he scores them both, then Wolves could be in with a shout.
Yeah.
Gase, what you saying?
I've gone Tottenham dub. I think 2-1. I've put Tottenham. I think it could be a close game, but I think Nuno obviously knows the Wolves players in and out. They haven't really made any signings. But he'll know all those players.
Yeah.
Where Tottenham could thrive on them. So I think he'll counteract it. I think Tottenham are going to take away the win.
Yeah, I went the same as you. I went 2-0 Spurs.
Yeah.
I just think with where Wolves were last weekend, Adama Traore is obviously not hitting anything. Probably couldn't hit a donkey's ass for a banjo. And then I just think Tottenham will be a bit too much. I did think Harry Kane was going to be playing when I made the prediction, but even without Harry Kane, I still think they're going to win.
Yeah.
Then we go to Arsenal versus Chelsea. Gase, you can go first in this one, pal.
I don't know if they will score, but I've put Arsenal losing, obviously, but I said they'll score. So 3-1 Chelsea.
Yeah.
I don't know if Rom is going to be out of quarantine by that point. I'm not too sure. How long do you quarantine for? 10 days?
He was at the game.
Yeah, it's not
weekend.
It's not as long as that now, I don't think.
It's not.
No, I don't think so.
So he might be available for this one.
I think he will be.
Yeah, so it'd be good to see
Feasting.
what he does.
Wow.
Feasting.
He's going to come out of this game as heavy as he was for United.
We'll take a feast on Arsenal.
Yeah.
Well, he does like playing against the little teams, doesn't he?
Yeah. I mean, I was going to mention that earlier, like who are Arsenal when we were talking about Brentford. No offense to Arsenal fans, you're just not up there anymore.
Yeah, they've got to come to the reality that they are no longer a top 8 team.
Yeah, Chelsea win for me.
Reza, Chelsea?
Yeah, easy all day long.
Comfortably or?
Yeah. Like I say, Lukaku's coming out heavy.
Yeah. I went 2-1 Chelsea. It could be quite bad for Arsenal if Chelsea score early. I probably think it'll be 3-4-0. I don't think Arsenal will score at all. But I'm hoping on a glimmer of hope that somehow Aubameyang or Lacazette will put the ball in the back of the net at some point.
Glimmer of hope.
Glimmer of hope, yeah. And then
or Arsenal fans?
I don't know. I don't think they've got any hope. I think that got absolutely destroyed from them the last 2 years, maybe even more than the last 3 or 4 years. It's just I don't think they've got any. And then we move to the last game on Monday, which is the Monday Night Football of West Ham versus Leicester. Reza, what you got this game at?
West Ham.
West Ham, nice.
Really?
Yeah, look, they're at home. Monday night, I think. I spoke to my mate today. He's got 2 spare tickets, actually, by the way, for the game.
Wes is trying to get some money by selling some tickets on a podcast.
No, mate. I'd be so tempted to go because that atmosphere is going to be banging. That's going to be a mental atmosphere on Monday night.
First
I can't
time
go because I'm working late, but I think the fans will be behind them. I think it'll be a close game. I think it'll be a good game of football. Yeah. I think West Ham edge it.
Nice. Spoiler alert, just before we do, guys, I have West Ham as well. I've got West Ham 2-1. That's what I'm saying. I think that at home with their fans, I think there'll just be a bit too much for Leicester on the day. But so having said that, Gase, we'll go to yours. Well, mate, what you saying for this?
I've gone 2-1, but I've gone Leicester.
Nice.
I think looking at the way West Ham played, I know they weren't at home, and obviously they were playing Newcastle.
Yeah,
it was Newcastle at the end of the day, and they came into their own after into the second half. I don't think they were good enough to beat Leicester. I think Leicester are going to take them.
Fair enough. Yeah. Do you not think though with the fans it changes a little bit? No.
Oh no, definitely will change. But I think Leicester against Wolves didn't hit the ground running yet.
Yeah.
And I think when they do, their potential is obviously way up there with the top 4.
Yeah.
They're a top 6 team, I think.
So. They are. They're the best of the rest, is what I would call Leicester.
100%. Yeah.
So I can see why you've gone for that route in all honesty.
Providing Tottenham don't go on a mad one this season, but yeah.
I still think Leicester will be higher up than them. Anyway, yes, that concludes the games for this weekend coming up. The last thing before we sign off, I was just going to have a look at our dream team, guys.
I did want to veer off quick.
Go ahead.
Can we have a really, really quick talk about what the is going on with Ronaldo to PSG?
Oh no, yeah. Oh, don't.
I saw this. Hang on a second. No. It's not that. Ronaldo to City.
Oh, have you heard that? Apparently, he
won't go there.
To City. No, I don't.
He won't go there. He won't go there.
I hope not. I hope that he wouldn't.
No,
I
really do.
He won't go there.
Like the thing is, again, he'd be scary at City.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, I mean, he's scary anyway. But City is just that's game. That's it.
But yeah, I've heard Look, it looks like Mbappe's going, right?
That's what I thought. Mbappe, Real, Ron, PSG.
Yeah, I mean, I guess. Do you know what?
It'd be nice to see them both.
Yeah,
I was going to say that. Yeah.
For people of our, I say our generation. Obviously, there's a bit of an age gap between me and you boys, but for people having grown up watching Ronaldo and Messi, seeing them both in the same team would just be epic. The thing is, I don't know how well they would play together. And by play together, I mean personally as well.
It turned into a goals fest. One of them will score a hat trick. The other one's like, got to score 4 now. Pass me the ball.
Possibly, or one of them gets stroppy, right? And they'll both be. Ronaldo will definitely want to be the main man. Messi will probably try and not be that way, but he'll want to be the main man too. I don't see how it'd work, but it would be epic to see.
Oh, it'd be great to see, but then again, it's just like, come on, PSG again. I mean, Neymar, Messi, Ronaldo's your front three. That's I don't even know.
If I was them, I'd just play 4-3-1-2. Just have 7 people defending and have Neymar, Messi, and Ronaldo just do whatever they want.
But what if they keep Mbappe and then they play Neymar, Messi, Ronaldo, and Mbappe?
6 defenders with them 4.
Yeah.
No midfielders.
Poch's got a little whiteboard on their training ground and it literally just says arrows just pointing to all 4 of them. That's your only job if you play at the back.
No, I
just
agree.
find one of them.
I think it'd be unbelievable to see, right? And I do think, I mean, they seem to get on. Obviously, there was a point where it would never, ever work, but they seem to be all right now.
Yeah.
But then again, like we said, I think there's always going to be, you don't get the best in the world without having like a major competitiveness within you.
Yeah.
So
I think
always be that case.
Because what would be, we'll never know, right? But it'd be interesting to be able, you couldn't quantify it, you can't know, but I wonder how much they have contributed to the other's success, if that makes sense, as in how much they have pushed one another.
Massively.
And I think one of them on their own probably isn't as good as the two of them have been, because the other one's present.
Mm-hmm.
I think there is an element of that. I think we probably, I don't think football has necessarily ever seen something like this.
No,
Certainly not in our life, not in my lifetime, and not in your lifetimes either. But you don't see it, and it's been epic. And it's going to be a sad day when one of them retires.
Sad.
But yeah, I think they've pushed each other. I think it'd be wonderful to see. It's kind of like fucking Harlem. PSG will basically be the Harlem Globetrotters, right, of fucking football. And if they don't win the Champions League, well
it reminds me of the Galacticos at Real Madrid, and they never won a Champions League.
Very much so, yeah. They were. I mean, they had, their players, absolutely unbelievable players at the time, and just
didn't work.
Not a very good team. No, it doesn't. It doesn't work. It just doesn't work. How you can't keep all those players happy all the time, and there's going to be infighting, and there's going to be literally just
Ramos will sort that.
Bitterness. And the thing is, Ramos, and Neymar just start crying, and then all of a sudden everything falls to pieces.
I don't think Neymar will cry when Messi's there with him. I just don't think he will, because he looks at Messi. He loves Messi. He did it when he's at Barcelona, and I don't think he's going to cry and whinge about stuff because he's going to have him with him.
The whole reason, like Neymar went to Barcelona because he wanted to be the star man, and you've got Lionel Messi there. I just don't know where your ego takes you. Do you think you're going to be outshining Messi, let alone Messi and Ronaldo on the same team? So I think there'd be problems. But going back to what Rez said, Ronaldo said in an interview, right? He said he wouldn't have been as consistently pushing himself on a consistent basis if it wasn't for Messi.
Yeah.
There was no one to challenge him. He would have just chilled, right? Because I'm the
out on his own. Yeah, he's out on his own.
You know? So 100%. I don't know if we're ever going to have anything like this. I mean, obviously, Ronaldinho and R9 were unbelievable, but nothing's been like these two. No,
nothing at all. I think with Ronaldinho and R9, because they're the same nation as well, nationality, let's say, sorry. They didn't have that rivalry between. They're still sort of like half friends.
They were good friends.
So they were good friends. So you didn't have the same rivalry that Messi and Ronaldo. They respect each other, but they know that they want to be better than the other one. So they push each other more than what I think Ronaldinho and R9 did. But we'll talk about them in terms of the best players ever. I'm sure we'll do like a spin-off episode in the best players ever or something like that. I'm sure we'll put our brains together and think of something that we can do to look at something like that.
Do you know what? Let's end this podcast on a little interesting thing. Your best player ever. One player. No discussion.
The only thing I'd ask is in terms of the best ever or in terms of my favourite player?
Your favourite player. The player that you think is the best ever. Let's put it that way.
Cristiano.
It's changed, right? Mine, I mean, Cristiano is up there. I mean, mine, I just remember watching Ronaldinho when I was young, and I thought Ronaldinho, just in terms of the way he played, smiling, he had the most flair I've ever seen. Right, skillful. He was out of this world. Right?
Played the game the right way.
He definitely would have been up there. And obviously, it's unfair to pick Ronaldo or Messi because, I mean, a lot of people, obviously, we're not going to get into this argument at all. I think we all favour Ron because of bias reasons. So respect them both as it is. So I'll say Ronaldinho for me.
Rez?
He's picked it already.
He's put a question to us and we're like giving an answer and he's sitting there going, right, so I've got this person, that person.
No, Gase he's done me. It's Ronaldinho. Yeah, all day long. Absolutely unbelievable player. But let's make a feature pod at some point.
Yeah, I'm sure we will.
Because there's others. Because I did that thing last year. You did it as well, Tan. You know, the top 10.
Yeah. No, yeah.
And I think maybe something like, we'll go for maybe an 11, right? We'll pick a player for every position. And we'll do a feature.
Cool. It's just going to be not United players with Ronaldinho and R9, isn't it?
No, mate, no. There's a lot. There's a lot.
He's bringing out the JJ Okochas of the world.
Oh, mate, JJ, I've still got a DVD somewhere. JJ Okocha's football skills DVD.
Just picture Rez in his garden doing a fucking Rabona.
Almost broke my neck.
Oh, good.
Right, so I'll go on to our dream teams then. We have got a league if anyone wants to join it. I can give everybody the code again. So I gave it last week, but the code to join our league is SGADS3UW. That's Sierra Golf Alpha Delta Sierra 3 Uniform Whiskey. If anyone wants to join, feel free to join. It's only just for a bit of fun. At the moment, I believe Gase and Rez, your mum's actually winning it. So it shows how much we know about football. If your mum's just come in and just gone,
seen her team?
Do it, boys.
She's got Cresswell in defence. She's got, what else has she got? Tierney, Alonso.
Oh, she picked Alonso, mate. She picked that, didn't she? Jesus.
How did Traore get 8 points?
I felt sorry for him. That's how many shots he had, mate. They're just giving it to him in points.
But yeah,
being top clearly knows more than us. So
yeah, what can you say? I mean, she got very lucky with Alonso being a man of the match and scored and got a clean sheet as well.
Yeah, I'm still bummed I didn't put Boom in my team. I'm very upset, but it is what it is.
No, I was happy with my team, to be fair. I may have to rethink Aston Villa goalkeeper if they keep conceding like that.
Yeah, definitely. If you guys listening, just go over. We'll try and add it, the league code to the video if you're watching on YouTube.
Yeah.
And yeah, just feel free to join in. Just a bit of fun.
Just a bit of fun, as we always do. And yeah, I think we'll have to say that's it for this episode, guys. As always, I just want to thank everyone for tuning in with us. If anyone would like to join us on the podcast, and sort of think it's a bit of fun, want to get involved with the banter with us, or come and give us your predictions or anything like that, if you just drop us a comment below on the YouTube video or reach out to us on any of our socials, we'll link it in our YouTube video and around our YouTube and sort of around our socials. So if you do want to get involved, just give us a little comment.
You don't have to be a United fan either.
No, you could be any fan whatsoever. We're happy to accommodate for anyone apart from Liverpool.
We welcome
fans
of other teams.
If anyone is watching and likes us and likes what we're talking and the way we're talking, if you wouldn't mind sharing it on your socials, just to get us out there so we can get more people listening to us, more people interacting with us, and yeah, it'd be good for us. If you're watching on YouTube, please like and subscribe as well. It'd be massive for us to help us out and know that we're doing a good job and know that you like us. Leave a comment as well if you think there's something you don't agree with what we've said, or if there's something you do agree with. But that's absolutely.
I will tell you you're wrong.
Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time.
It's been a pleasure.
Have a good one.